Hey, what's up, fans? How you guys doing? It's Ronald Khalix, my man. Red Dog Stream. Um, I came by to talk about what happened on Night of Champions. I gotta say, this Night of Champions pay-per-view was pretty epic. I gotta say, it pulled pretty well. I think some of the matches were pretty well. Some of the matches weren't, but I gotta say, they did probably save for the main event and probably for the big title matches. For me to start off, Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler. I did saw that match a little bit after I missed the match. I was out, so I watched a replay of it. And Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler. I gotta say that match was pretty okay. There was a lot. The match was pretty good, and there was some good, evenly back and forth matches. Kofi Kingston reverses the sleeper hold. That was very epic. Dolph Ziggler is using that stupid sleeper holder. I think the zigzag's a better finishing move. They should have stuck him to that. And the match was pretty good back and forth match. And Vicky did not get involved in the match. So Dolph Ziggler gets a clean win. I think it was great that he went on his own. And that was very good impact for Dolph Ziggler. I really wanted him to win on his own without Vicky's help. And that really proved a lot that Dolph Ziggler could be a good... I think he could turn face. He looked like a good face wrestler. But with Vicky, pulling alongside him, he can play good heel. But I think he's a better face. Hopefully... in the future, he feuds with heel Kane, pretty much. So Kayla was ringside, but then eventually Vicky throws her out. I don't know why they threw her out. Pretty much, but apparently, we all saw a lot of that. But the match was pretty epic though. So I give him credit for this Intercontinental Champion for making it a little bit different. But Dolph Ziggler finally wins on her own. I'm pretty glad of that. I thought Kofi would pull the win, but surprisingly enough, that Dolph Ziggler does get the win. So I saw a little bit of CM Punk in the Big Show, and I was embarrassed for CM Punk to lose in his hometown. And this is why the Straight Society is getting squashed, because this Big Show guy, and I think Luke Gallows needs new opponents. Now Luke Gallows is off the Straight Society. Now he's saying he's his own man, and it's retarded now. I think it's retarded that now he's the only reason why he was Luke Gallows, because it's CM Punk, and now he's going on his own. What's going to be next for him for his ridiculous heel turn? I know commentators been making signs that he may get back in the Straight Society. Hopefully he tries that and to get on new feuds and continue their success. But it's ridiculous. This is like one of the best heels. They mistreat and embarrass all the good heels, because we know that's how WWE books storylines and angles. And they embarrass Chris Jericho. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But CM Punk gets embarrassed in his hometown, and Big Show continues to make an impact. I think he needs new opponents, new heels that people can't stand, like Jack Swagger maybe. I think he could have been world champion, but we know he wasn't going to be world champion. Like, this number one contenders match at Over the Limit was horrible. Like, why did Teddy Long book the Big Show? I mean, we all know he's not going to win. He's just going to at some point win by DQ. I think that was a jobbing match at Over the Limit, but pretty much the Big Show makes a good impact for Straight Society. Still glad of him, so hopefully eventually Big Show gets back pretty soon enough. Sorry. And moving on. So moving on, there was another match. There's United States Champion Miz and Daniel Bryan. I gotta say, I was impressed with that match. That match was great. Alex Riley tries to get involved. That interference backfired. So Daniel Bryan surprisingly wins the WWE United States Champion. Michael Cole does flip out a little bit, but I didn't really pay much attention to him. I gotta say, I don't really pay attention to Michael Cole slips. The only time we can pay attention to him is when the Miz is getting praised by Michael Cole. Michael Cole praises the Miz and Alex Riley. That's why I hear him, because we all know he does sound stupid every time the Miz comes out. So I don't want Michael Cole to be a valet. I think he should stick to being a commentary until they can find new commentaries like Brian Saxton, Matt Striker, Josh Matthews, or Jim Ross. If he comes back, then Michael Cole can be a manager at some point. But hopefully Michael Cole doesn't lose his job. Pretty much. So, it was very good. The Miz and Daniel Bryan was an epic matchup. I really liked that match. The match pulled a lot of strings. It was very unpredictable, more unpredictable than I thought. I thought the Miz was going to pull the victory right there, but pretty much Daniel Bryan becomes the new United States Champion. Hopefully this feud doesn't die out. This has been one of the best epic feuds, the best match so far, the best feud with Alex Riley continue to valet. Hopefully, Alex Riley is still okay after that thrown to the turnbuckle, and it was ridiculous how Alex Riley got embarrassed. I felt sorry for that guy, Alex Riley, pretty much. But the match had some good back and forth matches. The Miz tried to, did a submission of his own. He throw some punches. He had some good upper hands. Daniel Bryan some good upper hands, and you gotta say it was very unpredictable. Surprisingly, I thought the Miz would escape that bell lock, but the Miz tapped out. It was surprising execution, and the Miz trying to go for the skull crushing. I wish that Daniel Bryan would counter that skull crushing finale into the bell lock pretty much. That will make it more pretty epic, but still an epic match. But hopefully Hell in a Cell, they have a Hell in a Cell United States Championship match, and then they're gonna try and cram in bragging rights. Like Hell in a Cell is 2 weeks away. I think that's too early. So because since there's gonna be like only 3 shows in a week, actually 4 with superstars thrown in there, I think they're gonna try and cram in. Like I don't know how many matches they're gonna cram in within less than a month. That's pretty not really epic, but Bragging Rights is gonna be like 2 weeks away. Hopefully, Bragging Rights does a lot better than Hell in a Cell because that didn't really please me as much. But pretty much, it's gonna be a good match though. So moving on, there was another match, Divas Championship match. The match was very unpredictable. I knew Michelle McCool and Layla were gonna pull some strings to win, but I didn't know Layla would do a cliche interference and straight up attack Melina. I thought it would be the other way around. I thought Layla would pretend to start attacking Michelle McCool, and then she somehow helped Melina get the win. But I wouldn't think they were friends again. They weren't mad at each other to begin with, surprisingly. So, best part is now Melina's Divas Championship, and I gotta say that's pretty surprising. I think the good part about that is I'm very positive about that, you know, they can push this feud on to Hell in a Cell where Melina tries to get those 2 titles, and then I think the feud could come to a near end in Survivor Series. Hopefully, Lake Cool stays together. That way Beth Phoenix can get some type of vengeance on Lake Cool pretty much enough. So hopefully that feud can pass on pretty much. So I'm going to be rooting on to see where Lake Cool goes. Hopefully they can stay on Raw and spend more time on Raw. Hopefully Caval's alongside with them. I think they're great with Caval. Lake Cool and Caval are a great trio. So hopefully they don't go anywhere for a while. And Caval, hopefully he can stick with either Layla or Michelle McCool if the alliance somehow dies out. So pretty much we're going to be seeing them on Raw now. I thought Raw would be a big relief from Lake Cool pretty much for most of the fans that hate him realistically, but there's no relief now. So SmackDown, I don't think they're going to do anything on SmackDown besides feud with Rosa Mendes and Kelly Kelly, where Rosa Mendes is now face. She's a good face now. I really like her as face because her heel, even though her being heel was interesting when she was with Zack Ryder, and I think she was a better manager than wrestler, but now they're trying to build on her in-ring ability, because you can see when she was with Zack Ryder, her in-ring ability was very horrible, and it was pretty sloppy, I gotta tell you. It was sloppy, but when you see her now, she really did develop her in-ring ability, and you can see like a lot of difference in her. So, she was just a manager at first, but now she's becoming a better wrestler. Hopefully, she continues to valet with Kelly Kelly and Tiffany. Hopefully, she returns heel and becomes a valet of her real-life husband, Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. That'll be pretty epic, and Kelly Kelly can get a tag team, maybe Dude Busters. Hopefully she comes in allied to a valet to the Dude Busters. So, pretty much moving on after that, there was another match. There was Kane and The Undertaker for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I gotta say, that match really did pull some strings. Undertaker did get the upper hand. That's what I think was expecting after how Kane embarrassed him. Undertaker did have a good upper hand, and Kane, you know, did have some good upper hands here and there. But I gotta say, it was good back and forth matching. It was good back and forth. Undertaker, I'm telling you, did get a good upper hand in the beginning of the match. And then that match the brawl went everywhere, and that was great. That's what a no-holds-barred match was about. I think they could have used weapons a lot more often, because apparently they did a lot more with barricades and using steel steps and security walls and, you know, other shielded environment as, you know, weapons or as props. And I think that was pretty epic, and it was been going everywhere. That's what the no-holds-barred match was about. And I think the feud could have passed. I think the feud's going to be going on in Hell in a Cell. But if Kane pulls to win Hell in a Cell, the feud should conclude in Survivor Series. Hopefully not. It doesn't come too short. Because this feud has been epic. They've been pulling some great promos, and I'm really proud of that pretty much. And hopefully I could pass on there. So I'm very glad for the Kane and Undertaker feud. That was a pretty epic match. Undertaker chokeslams Kane at the end, but tries to tombstone. Kane somehow counters, survives it, and then finishes the Undertaker. And the only thing I didn't like was the Undertaker just walked out. Like, it's a long cutscene when he walks out, and he was okay, but I didn't really pay attention to that. That was pretty ridiculous. So, moving on to Six Pack Challenge, I have a lot to talk about there. Chris Jericho was the first one to get eliminated. I gotta tell you, I know people are frustrated, like how they embarrassed him. Like he was a good heel. All they had was a gimmick that made him look like a bad wrestler, but he was a great wrestler there. But apparently they embarrassed Chris Jericho. He's the first one to get eliminated in 5 minutes, and that was his last night. I'm telling you, man, they just really embarrassed Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho looks so retarded with this new stupid gimmick. I think it's funny. I don't take his gimmick so seriously. Like I'm telling you, he wears a stupid pimp suit, calls them parasites, hypocrites, and germ incubators. I keep laughing about it so much because I think that's hilarious. It's very hilarious. It's hilarious. It's like nothing to be taken serious. It's just funny and it's just laughable. But next one to get eliminated was Edge. I didn't really see how he got eliminated, but I knew he got eliminated at some point. And I gotta say, from one of the reviews, he said Vince McMahon hates Canadians, and I know that was very frustrating, quite frankly. So moving on to that, there was the next person to get eliminated. I think John Cena, quite frankly, with help from the Nexus, and Wade Barrett does eliminate John Cena to get the victory. He tries it with Randy Orton, and Randy Orton almost RKO every member of the Nexus, and then Wade Barrett gets eliminated. And then after that, there was Sheamus and Randy Orton. Sheamus does the kick, Randy Orton kicks out, and then Sheamus tries the powerbomb, counters, Randy Orton does the RKO to beat Sheamus. So hopefully if Sheamus comes out and gets the title back at the time Triple H returns, then Triple H and Sheamus can have the WWE title feud. I really wanted Wade Barrett to become WWE champion, and then Nexus to become tag team champions, because they should have been in the Team Turmoil. But I forgot to talk about Team Turmoil. Team Turmoil, that pay-per-view, that match was great. Hart Dynasty was the first one to get eliminated. What a way to embarrass Hart Dynasty. Like, every Canadian got embarrassed. I'm telling you. They got embarrassed on the Night of Champions. And that's bad treatment from Vince McMahon. Because Vince McMahon, you know, has been really, he's been really behind this. I think he's been really pouring hatred on Canadians. They just embarrassed, like, this best Canadian tag team, Hart Dynasty, and they're like a real legit tag team. Usos continue to dominate. They dominate Santino, Kozlov. That feud has been going on. I thought hopefully they would be the last two contenders for the tag team champions. Then they get rid of Evan Bourne, Mark Henry really stopped the Usos. Then Evan Bourne and Mark Henry versus Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. The Dashing Chosen Ones, I gotta tell you, they've been really pulling on an epic feud. Hopefully Christian and Matt Hardy go for tag team champions. But I recently heard Matt Hardy was going to be released. He's demanding a release tomorrow, so I want to see that tag team feud be going on. So hopefully they feud with John Morrison and R-Truth at 80 Point, that they go to Raw and start their feud. So hopefully if they pair up with Lay Cool, I think they would be a great pair, but they're with Caval, so that wouldn't really do as much. So pretty much I hope we could see hopefully we could see more from Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes as they make their first appearance on Raw. And we'll see how far it goes with Lay Cool as they make their first appearance from Raw. But they'll be pulling some strings with their surprises on Raw, and we'll be seeing them almost every night. Almost every night with Raw, SmackDown, and Superstars. I gotta tell you, with Caval thrown in there, they're just gonna keep going. So I think they threw Caval under the bus with Lay Cool. And Michelle McCool, I think she's a good epic wrestler. Good powerhouse showman wrestler. And Layla, you know, I think they're really embarrassing Layla. I gotta tell you, I do feel sorry for her, like how she's getting embarrassed. I think she could have did good on her own, but ever since she's been a heel for nearly a couple of years now, and I think it's ridiculous by how they're making her look so ridiculous. Like she's having constant alliances with all the heels. So pretty much I'll see what happens on Raw and what happens on SmackDown after Night of Champions. But Night of Champions, I gotta say overall, I have to give it like a 8.10. And Daniel Bryan and Miz was a 4.5, 4 out of 5. That's my rating for Daniel Bryan and Miz. The Late Cool Divas Championship Unification match was 3 out of 5. You gotta say, there's some stuff that was very surprising upper hands from McCool and Molina. And Team Tomorrow, I have to say, was a 3 out of 5. Divas match was actually 4 out of 5, I have to say. Big Show CM Punk was 2 out of 5. I thought CM Punk would pull the win. And after that, there was a World Heavyweight Champion match. Kane and Undertaker, 4 out of 5. And Six Pack Challenge was a 4 out of 5. I gotta say, it was epic and unpredictable. And I thought Miz would cash in his Money in the Bank after Randy Orton wins. Why didn't the Miz cash in Money in the Bank to be WWE Champion? They think they're trying to keep the feud going with Randy Orton and Sheamus. I gotta say, it's not as epic as I thought it would. But still a great Night of Champions. But Surrender Extreme. Please follow me. I'm Renny Escobar56 on Twitter. Please follow me. Get some followers. Just subscribe on me. Red All Khalees, man. Peace out, man.